Welcome to the University of South Carolina College of Pharmacy podcast. I'm your host, Margaret Gregory, and I recently spent some time with our 2024 Outstanding Alumni Award recipients, Kyle and Pamela McHugh, from the class of 1995. Kyle and Pam met at the College of Pharmacy, but they had very different paths on how they arrived at pharmacy as a career.
I started at Revco in Rock Hill, South Carolina. When I was, 15 or so. It's my first job. I was a stock boy, filled up the drink machines, threw out the trash, got promoted to the cash register, as I like to say. Worked my way through that company and actually became a technician because they needed a pharmacy technician. And I had a choice on whether or not I wanted to be a doctor or a pharmacist when I graduated high school. And pharmacists made pretty good money, and their hours were better at the time. Looking back, I think doctors' hours are better now, but that's beside the point. Pharmacy's been great to me, and I fell in love with it when I was working in high school, and I just continued on my path, and that's how I got started.
So I was sickly as a child. I always had an ear infection or strep throat or something, so I was always at the pharmacist getting medications, and in my mind, it was the pharmacist that made me feel better, not the doctor that made me feel better. So when I got older, when I decided what I wanted to do, pharmacy was really the only thing I ever considered, and I only applied to University of South Carolina, so it was a do or die situation for me, but I wanted to be a pharmacist and I wanted to go to USC.
Kyle and Pam both have fond recollections of their time in the College of Pharmacy, from the friendships they developed to the mentors who shared their experiences and supported them.
So we had great friends in pharmacy school. We were, a community that kind of stuck together. We shared notes. We helped each other study. We would all get together the morning before the test and go through all our notes together to make sure we all, could ask questions of each other and just kind of pick each other's brain to make sure we were ready for the test. So from that perspective, we had great friendships that helped us get through not only, the life of pharmacy school, but the tests of pharmacy school. When it came to professors, we had great professors. I actually had to repeat a class, which I've never made lower than a B in my life before I got into pharmacy school. So that was a new experience for me. But it actually gave me the opportunity to get closer to that professor, to learn better, because it was more of a one-on-one situation. So every opportunity we got, even if it was a bad opportunity, you might say, such as repeating a class, it was always a good opportunity because it got you closer to knowing your faculty and just getting close to everyone in the school.
My college career was, I guess, a little bit different than some. I am the example of C equals degree. I was able to get through all of my classes, but I also worked a lot while I was in school, and I understand folks don't do that as much anymore, but I spent a lot of time with Revco CVS working just around Columbia or back in Rock Hill or wherever it was. I was always working, and I decided I was going to have a social life. I think I made most of my classes, some maybe not as much as others, but we did form friendships that we still have to this day. I mean, we've got friends in Pennsylvania and North Carolina and, different states that everybody moved to, and we still keep in touch with everybody, and we try to see them on football game weekends, and we've definitely developed lifelong friendships. And as far as the faculty goes, I didn't have the experience that Pam had with it, but I was able to have a few faculty members that really made an impact. Dean Sadek was absolutely a mentor, I think, for every pharmacy student that went through for 30 years, it seems. He definitely was encouraging and, helped us along. And as we felt like we were getting down on a class or had an issue or whatever, he was always there to help. Wayne Buff was always very helpful to me as an example of somebody who could manage a lot of different things. I guess Stan Papajohn, he was, he taught everybody how to make everything, I think, whenever we were in school. So you still have those memories of people. And I still have some that I've learned since we graduated that I've connected with and had a great relationship with and can reach out and just consider peers now.
The McHughes, who support the college through financial considerations as well as giving of their time, such as judging the KPIC business plan competition and mentoring students, are glad to see the college provide more opportunities to students around the business of pharmacy and being an owner.
So we've had some students that have gone both the business and the pharmacy route and have gotten that knowledge and enjoyed learning about both sides, because it's not, we had one that went on, and her husband is a physician, and so she's gone on to use that information to help open a practice. Pharmacy is a great thing, but sometimes you want to know more, and this opens your mind up to so much more than just pharmacy. It helps you understand the why behind pharmacy and the how behind pharmacy, and I just think those are important questions to answer. My college advisor, when I went to college, told me he didn't want me to go into pharmacy because he thought I would be intellectually bored. And I told him that if I ever got bored, I would read a book. And I have read, let me tell you how many books, not because I'm bored, but because it piqued an interest and a knowledge to know more about business and to know more about pharmacy. If you can just pique their knowledge, the learning really starts. And it really doesn't start until you get out of school. But the university does a good job of just piquing the knowledge so that when you get out of school, you can read those books, you can go to those conferences, you can collaborate with your fellow pharmacists and business owners across the whole country and get more information. The more you learn, the more you want to learn.
So when we graduated from school, I would say 90% of the people went to work in a drugstore, right? Whether it was chain, independent, hospital too, right? I mean, they were pharmacists that were on the front lines. I would say now that probably 70% are doing something else. They're becoming clinicians at hospitals or doctor's offices or working in industry or doing something else than the operation of being a pharmacist in a community. And good, bad, or indifferent, that's just the world that we live in. We do need community pharmacists. Whether you're going to be an owner or an employee or you're going to go to a chain, I mean, there's a lot of chains. They still need pharmacists. And we've got to provide that, and I appreciate the fact that the College of Pharmacy is recognizing that.
Kyle and Pam have experienced a number of plot twists in their lives, but have learned through their experiences that how you handle each twist in life and in business can lead to even greater opportunities.
We went through a phase where we had a lot of plot twists, and they were pretty significant plot twists, like when we first opened our first store together and we were going to have a partner and they backed out at the last minute, which turned out to be a blessing. And then we had another partnership that went south, and that wasn't fun at all. But we started considering those, instead of negative things, we started looking at them as opportunities. How you frame that plot twist as to how it comes out. So if you can look at a plot twist more as an opportunity than something that's going to hold you back, then your mind is looking for ways to make that plot twist encourage you and make you grow. And so every time we've had a plot twist in our life, whether it be through the business or through our family, it's always made us a better person, a better team, a better business. No matter what our plot twists are, we try to look for the rainbow in them. They're not fun to endure, but when you get to the end of it, it's always something that we look back and say, if that wouldn't have happened, we wouldn't be where we are today.
We've had a lot of deals over the years. We've bought stores, we've opened stores from scratch, we've done other things. And you have to fight and scrape and pick and try to find new business opportunities for stores that aren't growing. We've done some acquisitions that just didn't work out. But from every situation, we learned, okay, if this happens again, don't do that, do this. And so that experience over the last 20 plus years has really made it to where we understand what makes an independent pharmacy tick. And we can value a pharmacy very quickly, and we can understand what that store needs. Everything works out for the best. With independent pharmacy, what people don't understand is that every January you start again, because all of your reimbursements change in January. And you have to figure out, how am I going to navigate this next 12 months based on the reimbursements that I'm getting, and still keep all of my employees employed, and still take care of the patients the best that we can, and still invest in the business. And what can we do? So that's the unique thing about pharmacy. It's not just every year it's the same thing, and you know now, next year, the year after that, what your reimbursement, because you don't. Every January you get a new number.
It's obvious that through all the ups and downs of running a business, the McHughs have a great passion for community pharmacy and wouldn't change anything about their chosen careers.
When I was coming through pharmacy, it was Revco, and Revco was really like an independent at most of the Revco stores, a big box understanding. But if you went into most of your small town Revco pharmacies, it was very much like an independent pharmacy. The pharmacists stayed there. They didn't move all the time. The staff was there. They took care of things and that type of thing. So I grew up in that environment that was not really independent, but felt independent to me. And then once we got out and we got on our own, it's nice to be able to make our own decisions, good, bad, or indifferent. Really, that's what it comes down to, is we've got great people, and we're able to provide for a lot of different communities that otherwise wouldn't have any health care at all. It makes a difference to be able to provide health care because that's what we do.
Thank you for joining us for our conversation with Kyle and Pam McHugh, our Outstanding Alumni Award winners. And tune in again next month when we present the next edition of the USC College of Pharmacy podcast, found on the college's YouTube channel.